Kyle, Paul at TMR once again. As I said, I'm going to come back to you about part 3 of the Cornetto Trilogy, which is The World's End, which, once again, I do have a copy of. Okay, so yeah, I definitely have a copy of this one. Now then, The World's End. When it came out in 2013, I was really looking forward to this, having seen the previous two and knowing what high standard they were, and I've got to say I was a little disappointed with The World's End. I checked my original scoring of the film and I gave it 6 out of 10. I don't know why. It didn't do particularly well around the world compared to the other two. But I think a lot of that has got to do with the characters. Simon Pegg's character, Andy King, who's the lead character in the film, once again. And of course, you've got Nick Frost. There's also Paddy Constantine, Martin Freeman, and Eddie Marsan. So it's basically around 5 friends getting together 20 years later to reenact their epic pub crawl. So the idea is they're going to do 12 pubs, finishing off at the pub which is called The World's End, and go from there. But over the course of years, obviously, Simon Pegg's character, Andy, hasn't really moved on with his life. He's still the layabout sort of leader of the pack, if you like, and he hasn't really moved on, where the rest of them have all moved on with their lives. But he's struggling to accept that. The end of the film is basically they save us from like an alien invasion. They become humanity's saviour. So the idea behind it, I think, was good to begin with, but yeah, for whatever reason, it just doesn't quite gel with me, to be honest. There are some really good scenes, and there's a great fight scene in the pub toilet, if memory serves, between Nick Frost and one of the aliens, as it turns out, which is brilliant. But yeah, as a whole, I find the film just falls a little flat. It's nowhere near as well written or as funny, I don't think, as the previous two, Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. But it's still worth a watch. But you do also notice that the cast isn't anywhere near as big as it was in the previous two. I mean, apart from the 5 guys that I've mentioned, Pierce Brosnan, Rosamund Pike's in it, and then Bill Nye obviously is in it, but I think he's just as a voiceover actor in this one, so you only hear his voice. And obviously Edgar Wright, you have to hear his voice in it because, as I said before, a bit of an Alfred Hitchcock thing, got to have his voice on the film. So again, you'll probably find it on a streaming platform somewhere, but as I say, I don't think it's anywhere near as good as the first two. But at the end of the day, it's just my opinion. You guys might think differently. So, didn't say this last time, and I always do. So give me a like, give me a thumbs up, give me a repost. Share me with as many people as you can so we can hopefully get the followers up for this. We're going to come back soon. The next one I plan to do, if I don't get to the cinema, which I didn't do the other day, is going to be the film that was #1 when I was born, way back on January the 14th, 1974. Okay, and that one does hold a special place for me because it's one of my favourite films of all time. So I will be back to you soon to speak about that. Until then, take care. I'll speak to you soon.